Welcome back to the channel. Today, we face a truth we all know deep inside. We fear what others think. We crave approval. We want everyone to like us, and we feel broken when they do not. But here is the secret. Living for approval steals your peace. It takes your freedom, and it hides your true self. This book is a light in that darkness. It is called Are You Mad at Me? By Heather Josephson. It shows us how to stop living for others and start living for ourselves. In this journey, we will explore 12 powerful lessons. Each one is a key, and each one will unlock a new level of freedom. You will learn how to see yourself with love. You will learn how to let go of fear. And you will discover what it means to live for you, not for their approval. Stay with me. This is not just a book summary. It is a map to your own freedom. And by the end, you will see yourself in a new light. Section 1. The Hidden Cost of Approval. We all want to be liked. We all want to be accepted. It feels safe when people smile at us. It feels safe when they say, "You are good, you are kind, you are worthy." But here is the hidden truth. That safety comes with a price. And the price is your peace. Think about the times you asked yourself, did I say something wrong? Did I upset them? Are they mad at me? This question plays like a broken record in the mind. It repeats over and over again. And every time it repeats, you lose a piece of yourself. Approval feels like comfort, but it is a cage. It is a cage built of other people's opinions. And every bar of that cage is a fear. Fear that they will judge you. Fear that they will leave you. Fear that they will reject you. So you give more. You bend more. You twist yourself to fit into shapes that do not belong to you. But what happens inside? Slowly, you lose your own shape. You forget your voice. You forget your truth. You forget what it feels like to stand tall without asking for permission. This is the hidden cost of approval. It does not come all at once. It comes drop by drop. Like water dripping on stone, it wears you down. One small moment here. One worried thought there. Until you are tired, empty, and lost. You wake up in the morning and ask, who do I need to please today? You go to sleep at night and ask, did I upset anyone today? And the cycle never ends. This is not peace. This is prison. Let us look closer. Why do we ask, are you mad at me? We ask because we fear disconnection. We ask because we believe if they are mad, it means we are bad. It means we are unworthy. So we rush to fix it. We rush to explain. We rush to make them happy again. But what about us? What about our feelings? What about our truth? It gets pushed down. It gets buried under the weight of their comfort. And soon, we cannot even hear ourselves anymore. This habit shows up everywhere. At work, when you stay silent instead of sharing your idea. At home, when you agree just to keep the peace. With friends, when you laugh at a joke that hurts, just to avoid conflict. Each time, you silence yourself. Each time, you betray yourself. And each time, you send a message to your own heart. That message says, your truth does not matter. Their approval matters more. This is why approval feels safe but is deadly inside. It protects you from rejection on the outside. But it destroys you on the inside. And the inside is where you live. The inside is your true home. Imagine carrying a heavy bag on your back. Every day, someone adds a new rock. One rock for the time you said yes when you wanted to say no. One rock for the time you smiled while your heart was crying. One rock for the time you asked, are you mad at me, instead of asking, am I okay with me? Day after day, the bag grows heavier. And you wonder why you feel so tired. This is emotional exhaustion. It is not because you are weak. It is because you carry too much that does not belong to you. You carry their moods. You carry their silence. You carry their reactions. And you carry the endless need to keep them happy. But here is the painful truth. You can never keep everyone happy. No matter how much you try. No matter how many times you bend. No matter how many times you sacrifice yourself. Someone will still be unhappy. Someone will still be mad. And when that happens, you blame yourself. You think, I must have failed. I must be wrong. I must try harder next time. This is the trap of approval. It has no finish line. It has no end. It only demands more, and more, and more. So how do we break this cycle? The first step is recognition. You cannot heal what you cannot see. You must see the pattern clearly. See how often you ask yourself, are they upset? See how often you bend yourself just to keep others calm. See how often you trade your peace for their smile. Once you see it, you can name it. You can say, this is the cost of approval. And I am paying it with my life. But I do not want to pay anymore. Awareness is powerful. Awareness shines a light in the dark. When the light comes, the lies lose their power. The lie that says, you need their approval to survive. The lie that says, their anger means you are not worthy. The lie that says, keeping them happy is more important than being true to yourself. When you see the lies, you can begin to question them. You can ask, what if their anger is not about me? What if their silence does not define me? What if my worth does not depend on their mood? These questions are small, but they are keys. Each question unlocks a little more freedom. Each question takes one rock out of that heavy bag. And soon, you start to stand taller. You start to breathe easier. You start to feel lighter. The habit of approval will not vanish in one day. It has been built over years. It is rooted in fear. It is tied to old wounds, old memories, old beliefs. But with every step, you can loosen its grip. With every act of honesty, you take back a piece of yourself. With every moment of courage, you remind yourself, I am enough. This is the beginning of the journey. This is lesson 1. The hidden cost of approval is your peace. And once you see the cost, you can choose not to pay it anymore. Let this be your first step. Notice the moments you ask, are you mad at me? Pause. Breathe. And instead of asking about them, ask about you. Ask, am I mad at myself for betraying my truth? Ask, what would I say if I trusted my worth? Ask, how can I be true to me right now? This shift will feel small at first, but it is powerful. It is a seed. And with time, this seed will grow. It will grow into strength. It will grow into freedom. It will grow into a life where your worth is no longer tied to approval. You do not need everyone to like you. You do not need everyone to understand you. You do not need everyone to smile at you. What you need is to like yourself. What you need is to understand yourself. What you need is to smile at yourself. Because when you do, their approval becomes extra, not necessary. Their approval becomes sweet, but not survival. And that is freedom. Section 2. The fawn response. People-pleasing as survival. Let us step deeper. Let us talk about something that hides in plain sight. It is called the fawn response. This response is the habit of pleasing others, only to stay safe. It is not simple kindness. It is not gentle love. It is survival. When we were children, many of us learned this pattern. We saw anger in a parent. We saw rejection in a friend. We felt fear in a room filled with judgment. And we learned one quick way to protect ourselves. We learned to smile. We learned to agree. We learned to do whatever was needed, so others would not be upset. This is what trauma often teaches. It whispers, keep them happy, and you will be safe. It shouts, do not cause conflict, or you will be hurt. So, we obey. We fawn. We bend. And we call it kindness, even when it feels like chains. But here is the truth. There is a great difference between healthy kindness and compulsive pleasing. Healthy kindness is a choice. Comes from a full heart. Comes with freedom. When you are kind by choice, you still feel whole. You still feel strong. You can say yes or no, and both answers come from love. But compulsive pleasing is different. It does not feel free. It does not feel whole. It feels forced. It feels heavy. It is driven by fear, not love. It is driven by the belief that you will lose everything if you say no. Think of the last time you wanted to say no, but you said yes instead. You felt your chest tighten. You felt your stomach twist. Your body said no, but your mouth said yes. That is the fawn response. It is the moment when fear wins, and your own truth is silenced. The hardest part is this. Fawning does not always look painful on the outside. To others, you seem helpful. You seem polite. You seem generous. But inside, you are shrinking. Inside, you are exhausted. Inside, you are screaming, I do not want this. Why does it feel so impossible to say no? Because your body still believes you are in danger. Your mind tells you, if I say no, they will be angry. If they are angry, they will leave. If they leave, I will not survive. This belief is not logical, but it is powerful. It was carved into you when you were small, and every time you fawn, that belief grows stronger. This is why saying no feels like breaking a rule of life. It feels like betrayal. It feels like danger. It feels like you will lose love forever. And yet, when you always say yes, you lose yourself instead. Let us see the cost more clearly. When you live in the fawn response, you stop listening to your own needs. You forget what you want. You forget what you feel. You forget who you are. Your life becomes a mirror of others, not a reflection of your truth. Think about it. If someone asks you, what do you want for dinner? And you always answer, whatever you want, then one day you will forget your own taste. If someone asks you, what do you need right now? And you always answer, I am fine, then one day you will no longer know what comfort feels like. This is the hidden tragedy of fawning. It is not just about pleasing others. It is about losing yourself in the process. But let us look deeper at the roots. Why do we learn this? Why do so many people become people pleasers? The answer is survival. In childhood, you may not have had power. You may not have been able to fight. You may not have been able to run. So you found the third path. You found the fawn. You made yourself small. You made yourself pleasing. And that was enough to keep you safe, at least for a while. But here is the problem. That pattern may have saved you as a child, but it traps you as an adult. The danger is gone, yet the habit remains. You are no longer powerless. You are no longer trapped. But the fawn response makes you live as if you still are. So what is the way forward? The first step is awareness. You must see the fawn. You must name it. The next time you feel your chest tighten when you want to say no, pause. The next time you agree to something while your heart screams no, pause. Say to yourself, this is the fawn response. Do not judge it. Do not hate it. Just notice it. The second step is compassion. You must honor the part of you that learned to fawn. That part of you was a child who wanted safety. That part of you was a child who wanted love. That part of you was trying to survive. So thank it. Say to yourself, you kept me safe, but I do not need you in this way anymore. The third step is practice. Practice saying no in small ways. Practice choosing yourself in tiny moments. If someone asks what you want to eat, choose. If someone asks how you feel, answer honestly. Start small, but be consistent. Each small act builds strength. Each small act tells your body, I am safe now. And the fourth step is patience. Breaking the fawn response is not easy. It will take time. You will slip. You will say yes when you mean no. But do not give up. Each time you try again, you grow stronger. Each time you practice, you reclaim more of yourself. Remember this truth. Kindness and people-pleasing are not the same. One is freedom. The other is fear. One fills you with joy. The other empties you with shame. One comes from choice. The other comes from chains. You deserve freedom. You deserve joy. You deserve to live your life without the weight of constant pleasing. The fawn response was once your shield. But now, it is your prison. And you hold the key to step outside. So the question is simple. Will you keep fawning to survive, or will you rise to live? The choice is yours. Section 3. The 6 Archetypes of Pleasers. Welcome back, my friend. We now step into a very important part of this journey. It is time to uncover the 6 archetypes of pleasers. These are the masks many of us wear, often without knowing it. They shape how we act. They shape how we give. And most of the time, they shape how we lose ourselves. The author, Heather Josephson, shows us that people-pleasing is not one thing. It takes many forms. Each form looks different, but all of them share one root. That root is fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of conflict. Fear of not being loved. Let us walk through them one by one. And as you listen, ask yourself, do I see myself here? You may see parts of you in more than one archetype. That is normal. That is human. The key is to notice. The key is to wake up. Archetype 1. The helper. The first type is the helper. The helper always wants to fix, rescue, and serve. They say, "What do you need? I will handle it." They carry the weight of others. They pick up the broken pieces. They rush to solve problems before anyone asks. On the outside, the helper looks kind. They look selfless. But inside, they are scared. They believe their value comes only from giving. They believe love must be earned by service. So they never rest. They never pause. They do not know how to receive. This is the trap of the helper. They give until they are empty. And yet, they still ask, "Is this enough? Do you see me?" Can you feel this pattern in your life? Have you ever given so much that you felt invisible? If yes, then you know the helper well. Archetype 2. The performer. Next comes the performer. This is the pleaser who shines on stage. They laugh. They smile. They succeed. They impress. The performer believes they must always entertain, always achieve, always be admired. They say yes to every demand. They take on every role. They stay busy, so no one can see their fear. But inside, the performer is fragile. Their worth depends on applause. When the clapping stops, they panic. They ask, "Am I enough without the show?" This is why performers struggle with silence. They do not know who they are when no one is watching. It is a lonely place. Do you recognize the performer in yourself? Do you hide behind achievements or humor, afraid of being seen as you truly are? So, then you know this mask. Archetype 3. The peacemaker. The third type is the peacemaker. This pleaser avoids conflict at all costs. They swallow their words. They bury their truth. They bend until they break. The peacemaker smiles when they are angry. They nod when they want to scream. They smooth over every rough edge. They keep peace outside, while creating war inside. This archetype is born from fear of anger. Maybe they grew up in chaos. Maybe they saw fights destroy people. So now they choose silence. They choose harmony, even if it kills their soul. But peace without truth is not peace. It is only pretending. It is only delay. True peace comes when honesty meets respect. But the peacemaker does not believe that. They believe conflict means loss of love. Can you see yourself here? Do you avoid saying no because you fear rejection? That is the voice of the peacemaker. Archetype 4. The chameleon. The fourth type is the chameleon. This pleaser shifts shape to fit in. They adjust their tone. They adjust their style. They mirror the room, so no one rejects them. The chameleon is hard to spot. Even they do not know who they are. They can be funny with one group, quiet with another, bold with someone else. But deep down, they wonder, if I stop adjusting, will anyone still like me? This archetype comes from deep insecurity. They believe being themselves is dangerous. They fear that their true colors will push people away. So they keep painting over their identity. Again and again. The chameleon is loved by many, but known by none. And that is their deep sadness. Because they do not even know themselves. Do you ever feel like you play a role in every room you enter? If yes, then you have felt the weight of the chameleon. Archetype 5. The caretaker. The fifth type is the caretaker. This pleaser takes responsibility for everyone's emotions. If someone is sad, they try to lift them. If someone is angry, they try to calm them. If someone is hurting, they absorb the pain. The caretaker does not know where they end, and where others begin. They feel guilty when others suffer. They feel responsible for fixing every wound. This archetype often grows out of family trauma. Maybe they grew up with parents who fought. Maybe they became the emotional parent in the house. So they learned, if I do not manage emotions, the world will fall apart. But this belief is a prison. Because it is not their job to carry every heart. It is not their role to heal everyone. And yet, they cannot stop trying. Do you carry the weight of others on your shoulders? Do you feel guilty when you cannot fix someone? That is the caretaker's voice. Archetype 6. The invisible one. Finally, we meet the invisible one. This pleaser hides in the shadows. They shrink their voice. They lower their needs. They hope that if they stay small, no one will be angry. The invisible one is quiet. They do not ask for much. They make themselves easy to ignore. Because in their heart, they believe being seen is dangerous. Attention feels like risk. So they fade. They become background characters in their own lives. They may look calm, but inside, they are crying out. They want to be known. They want to be loved. But they do not know how to step forward. Do you relate to this? Do you sometimes disappear, hoping to avoid rejection? Then you know the invisible one. The hidden power in knowing. These 6 archetypes are not life sentences. They are not who you truly are. They are only survival strategies. They were created to keep you safe. But now they keep you trapped. The helper. The performer. The peacemaker. The chameleon. The caretaker. The invisible one. Each of these has a cost. Each of these keeps you from being whole. But the first step to freedom is awareness. And now, you see them clearly. Remember this truth. You do not have to earn love. You do not have to perform for worth. You do not have to shrink to belong. You are already enough. The 6 masks may feel strong, but your true self is stronger. The more you notice these patterns, the more you can break them. The more you break them, the more you can live free. This is your power. This is your path. And this book is your guide to step into that freedom. Section 4. The Inner Voice of Self-Criticism. Welcome back. Now we enter a deeper part of this journey, a place where the real battle begins. Inside the mind. The enemy is not always outside. It is not always the angry boss. It is not always the cold friend. It is not always the disapproving parent. The enemy often lives inside. It whispers quietly. It repeats daily. Says the same thing in many ways. It says, "You are only worthy if you are liked." This voice is the inner critic. And for many people, it controls everything. It shapes choices. It shapes words. It shapes silence. Think for a moment. Have you ever smiled when you did not feel happy? Have you ever said yes when you wanted to say no? Have you ever laughed at a joke that hurt you inside? If yes, then you know the power of that voice. The critic tells you to please. The critic tells you to avoid conflict. The critic tells you to protect love at all costs. But the critic never protects peace. Why the voice exists? This voice was not born in a single day. It is built over years. It grows from childhood, from teachers, from parents, from friends, from society. Every time someone praised you for being good, the voice learned. Every time someone rejected you for being different, the voice grew louder. It linked worth with approval. It said, "If they like me, I am safe." It said, "If they are mad at me, I am in danger." This connection becomes the script of life. And the script says, "My value depends on others." The cycle of shame. The critic does not only push you to please. It also punishes you when you fail. Imagine this cycle. You try to keep everyone happy. But you fail, because no one can keep everyone happy. Someone gets upset. They show anger. They show disappointment. And instantly, the critic attacks. It says, "You should have done better." It says, "This is your fault." It says, "You are not enough." This creates shame. Shame is heavy. Shame bends the back. Shame makes the eyes look down. Shame tells you, do not speak. Do not shine. Do not exist too much. The critic and shame become partners. They keep you small. They keep you silent. They keep you trapped. The lie of the critic. But here is the truth. The critic lies. It says you are only worthy if you are liked. But worth does not depend on approval. Worth is not a gift from others. Worth is your birthright. Think of a child. A newborn. When a baby is born, do we ask, are they liked enough to be worthy? No. We hold the baby. We say, this life has value. Your worth is the same. Has always been the same. It is not something you earn. It is something you already have. Rewriting the script. So how do we break free? How do we silence the critic? How do we change the script? The first step is awareness. You must hear the critic. Notice the words it repeats. Notice when it says, "You are too much." Notice when it says, "You are not enough." The second step is questioning. Ask, is this voice the truth? Or is it fear? Many times, the critic is only fear in disguise. It is fear of rejection. It is fear of being alone. It is fear of not being loved. The third step is rewriting. Take the old script and write a new one. When the critic says, "I am only worthy if I am liked," you replace it. You say, "I am worthy because I am alive." When it says, "I failed them, so I am bad," you answer, "I am learning and I am growing." When it says, "They are mad at me, so I am in danger," you reply, "I am safe, even if someone is upset." This is the practice. Not once, not twice, but daily, again and again, until the new script feels natural. From shame to compassion. The critic feeds on shame. So the medicine is compassion. Compassion is not weakness. Compassion is strength. When you fail, show kindness. When you make mistakes, forgive. When you disappoint someone, remind yourself, I am still worthy. Think of how you treat a friend. If your friend forgot a promise, would you tell them they are worthless? No. You would say, it is okay, you are human. You must learn to speak to yourself the same way. Talk to yourself like a friend, not like an enemy, not like a judge, not like a critic. Compassion turns shame into growth. Compassion turns silence into courage. Compassion turns fear into love. The shift of identity. Here is the real transformation. It is not about silencing the critic forever. The critic may still whisper, but it will no longer control you. When you rewrite the script, you shift identity. You stop being the person who needs approval. You become the person who gives approval to yourself. You do not ask, are you mad at me? You ask, am I proud of myself? You do not say, do they like me? You say, do I respect me? This is freedom. This is peace. This is the power of living without chains. A practical exercise. Let me give you one tool. Take a paper. Draw 2 columns. On the left, write down the critic's common words. For example, you are too loud. You are not smart. You should not upset them. You will lose love if you say no. Then, on the right, write the new script. For example, my voice deserves to be heard. I am smart enough to grow. My needs are also important. Love does not vanish when I set boundaries. Read both sides. Then read the new script out loud. Do it daily. This small step changes the brain. It builds new pathways. It makes compassion stronger than shame. Closing of Section 4. The inner critic is powerful. It has lived inside for years. But it is not the truth. It is not your soul. It is only a voice from fear. You can choose a new voice. A voice of compassion. A voice of courage. A voice of freedom. Remember this. You are worthy. Not because you are liked. Not because you are perfect. Not because you please. You are worthy because you are you. And nothing can take that away. Section 5. Nice versus compassionate. Welcome back. This section is powerful because it goes to the heart of why we try so hard to be liked. For most of our lives, we have been told to be nice. Teachers told us. Parents told us. Society told us. Be nice. It sounds good. It sounds safe. But here is the truth. Nice is not the same as compassionate. Being nice often means hiding your real thoughts. It means smiling when you want to cry. It means saying yes when your whole body says no. It means shrinking your truth to keep others happy. And here is the cost. Nice people lose themselves. Nice people live in fear. Nice people walk on eggshells, every day, every hour. Compassion is different. Compassion is not about control. Compassion is about love. Compassion is about truth. Compassion is about seeing yourself and others with honesty. When you are nice, you protect others from discomfort. But when you are compassionate, you set them free with truth. When you are nice, you fear rejection. When you are compassionate, you accept that not everyone will agree. But you still stand in your worth. Think about this. A nice person says, "It's okay, I will do it." Even when they feel exhausted. Even when they feel broken. But a compassionate person says, "I care about you, but I cannot do this right now." That is love with boundaries. That is truth with respect. Niceness comes from fear. Compassion comes from courage. Fear says, if I say no, they will leave me. Courage says, if I say no, I may lose them, but I will not lose myself. This is the shift the book asks us to make. It is not about being rude. It is not about rejecting kindness. It is about building kindness that is real. It is about building love that does not require you to vanish. Many people think compassion is weak. But compassion is strength. Compassion looks a friend in the eyes and says, "I cannot agree, but I still love you." Compassion holds space for pain without trying to fix it. Compassion does not avoid conflict, it moves through it with honesty. When you live with compassion, your relationships change. They may shake at first, because the people who loved your niceness may resist your truth. They may test you, they may push back. But over time, the relationships that survive will be stronger, because they are built on truth, not fear. Ask yourself today, am I being nice, or am I being compassionate? When you say yes, is it because you want to or because you are afraid? When you smile, is it because you feel joy or because you fear rejection? The book reminds us, nice is about control. Control of the outside. Control of other people's opinions. But compassion is about release. Release of fear. Release of shame. Release of the endless game of approval. You do not need to control others to be safe. You need to trust yourself. You need to choose honesty over performance. Compassion begins with yourself. Can you look in the mirror and say, "I love you," even when you are not perfect? Can you say, "I forgive you," even when you make mistakes? That is compassion. And when you live with that kind of compassion for yourself, you naturally give it to others. Nice people burn out. Compassionate people grow stronger. Nice people hide their truth. Compassionate people speak with love. Nice people live in fear. Compassionate people live in freedom. This is the invitation. To leave niceness behind. To walk into compassion. To speak your truth without apology. To love without chains. So the next time you are about to say yes, pause. Ask yourself, is this nice or compassionate? If it is nice, stop. If it is compassionate, move forward. That single shift will transform your life. Because compassion is love, and love never requires you to disappear. Section 6. The Nicer Framework. The author gives us a tool. It is simple. It is powerful. It is called the Nicer Framework. This word is not just a word. It is a path. It is a map to change your habits. It shows you how to stop pleasing and start living. Nicer means 5 steps. Notice. Inquire. Choose. Express. Repair. Each step matters. Each step gives you freedom. Each step helps you build a new way of being. Let us walk through these steps, one by one. Step 1. Notice. The first step is notice. You must notice what is happening inside you. You must notice your body. You must notice your feelings. You must notice your thoughts. When someone frowns, what do you feel? Do you panic? Do you rush to fix it? Do you think, they must be mad at me? That is a moment to notice. Notice the fear. Notice the tension. Notice the need to please. Without noticing, you stay blind. You react before you think. You run into pleasing mode, again and again. Noticing slows you down. It gives you space. It lets you breathe. Try this. The next time you feel panic, stop for one breath. Say inside, "I notice fear." Say inside, "I notice pressure." Do not fight it. Just see it. That is the first door to freedom. Step 2. Inquire. The second step is inquire. Ask questions. Ask them with kindness. Ask them with curiosity. Ask yourself, why am I rushing to please? Ask yourself, what am I afraid will happen? Ask yourself, what story is my mind telling me? Inquiry gives you power. It shows you that your fear is old. It shows you that your habits are old. It shows you that your body is trying to protect you, even now. Maybe your mind says, if I say no, I will lose love. Maybe it says, if I disagree, I will be abandoned. Maybe it says, if I make them upset, I am bad. These stories feel real, but they are not the truth. They are echoes of the past. They are shadows of old wounds. Inquiry helps you see that. Inquiry helps you challenge it. Inquiry helps you ask, is this true? Or is this fear? Step 3. Choose. The third step is choose. Choice is power. Choice is freedom. Choice is the moment where you take your life back. Once you notice, and once you inquire, you can choose. You can choose to repeat the old habit. Or you can choose a new path. The old habit says, say yes to stay safe. The new path says, say no if it is not right. The old habit says, smile even when you hurt. The new path says, be honest, even if it feels scary. Choice is not easy. Your body may shake. Your heart may race. But choice is power. Each time you choose truth over fear, you grow stronger. Each time you choose honesty over pleasing, you grow freer. Each time you choose courage, your life changes. Step 4. Express. The fourth step is express. You must speak. You must share. You must put your truth into words. Expression is scary. It feels dangerous. It feels like stepping off a cliff. But expression is life. It is how you claim your voice. It is how you tell the world, I matter too. Expression can be gentle. It does not have to be loud. It does not have to be cruel. It can be clear. It can be simple. It can be strong. I cannot do that right now. I do not agree with this. I feel hurt when you speak that way. These words are small, but they are powerful. They show that you exist. They show that you have worth. They show that your feelings count. At first, you may tremble. At first, your voice may shake. That is normal. That is courage. Do it anyway. Step 5. Repair. The fifth step is repair. This may surprise you, but repair is part of healing. When you stop pleasing, people may react. They may get upset. They may feel confused. They may not like the new you. That is okay. Repair does not mean, go back to pleasing. Repair means, I can care about this relationship, and still care about myself. Maybe you said no, and someone was hurt. You can repair by saying, I care about you. My no does not mean I reject you. Maybe you expressed anger, and it shocked them. You can repair by saying, I was honest. I did not mean to hurt you, but I needed to speak. Repair is about balance. It is about love with truth. It is about care with boundaries. Without repair, honesty can turn into walls. With repair, honesty turns into bridges. A real-life example. Let us put it together. Imagine this. Your friend asks you for help. You are tired. You want to rest. But you feel pressure. You want to say yes. Step 1. Notice. You feel tightness. You feel fear. You notice the urge to please. Step 2. Inquire. You ask, what am I afraid of? The answer comes, I fear they will be mad. Step 3. Choose. You pause. You breathe. You choose to honor your need for rest. Step 4. Express. You say, I love you. I want to help, but I cannot today. Step 5. Repair. Your friend looks sad. You say, I still care. I want to help another time. That is nicer in action. Simple, clear, strong. Why nicer works? Nicer works because it slows you down. It gives you steps. It gives you order. It gives you control. Pleasing is automatic. It is fast. It is blind. Nicer makes it conscious. Nicer makes it careful. Nicer makes it free. The more you practice, the easier it gets. At first, you will forget. At first, you will stumble. But with time, it will feel natural. With time, it will feel right. Nicer does not just change your words. It changes your life. It changes your relationships. It changes how you see yourself. You stop being a puppet. You stop being a shadow. You stop living for approval. You start living for truth. You start living for love. You start living for you. Section 7. Boundaries without guilt. Boundaries are not walls. Boundaries are doors. They do not push people away. They let healthy love in, and unhealthy control out. Most of us fear setting boundaries. We think people will hate us. We think they will leave us. We think they will call us selfish. So we say yes when our heart screams no. We smile when our body aches with exhaustion. We agree when our soul whispers for freedom. This is not kindness. This is fear. Fear of losing love. Fear of being rejected. Fear of being seen as difficult. But here is the truth. Boundaries are not rejection. Boundaries are protection. Protection of your time. Protection of your energy. Protection of your heart. Think of a house. You would never leave your door wide open for anyone. You would not allow strangers to walk in. You would not let people take your food, your money, your bed. So why do you let people take your peace, without asking permission? A house needs doors. You need doors too. That is what boundaries are. Why we fear boundaries. The fear of boundaries begins in childhood. Maybe you were punished for saying no. Maybe you were told you were rude when you spoke up. Maybe you were taught that love means sacrifice, even when it hurts. So you grew up believing, if I set limits, I will be abandoned. That belief follows you everywhere. At work, in friendships, in family, in romance. You answer texts late at night, even when you are tired. You lend money you cannot afford to give. You agree to favors, even when you have no time. You say yes, while your heart breaks inside. This cycle cannot go on. Because every yes that should have been a no plants resentment. Resentment grows like poison. It kills love. It kills respect. It kills connection. The truth about no. Here is what Josephson teaches. No is not rejection. No is direction. It points you toward what matters most. It points others toward what you can truly give. When you say no, you are not saying, I do not love you. You are saying, I love myself enough to protect my energy. And in that protection, real love becomes possible. Think about it. If you always say yes, your yes means nothing. It becomes automatic. It becomes hollow. But when you say no sometimes, your yes carries power. It comes from choice, not from fear. How to say no without fear. Josephson gives practical tools for this. Here are a few steps. Pause before answering. Do not rush into yes. Take a breath. Check with yourself. Ask, do I want this? Can I give this? Use simple, direct words. Do not over-explain. Do not apologize. Say, I cannot do that. Say, that does not work for me. Short, clear, kind. Offer what you can. If you want, suggest another option. I cannot meet tonight, but I can meet on Saturday. This shows care without sacrifice. Stay calm when guilt appears. Some people will push. They will beg. They will complain. Stay steady. Repeat your no. Remember, their disappointment is not your failure. Practice often. Boundaries are a muscle. The more you use them, the stronger you become. Josephson's boundary truths. Josephson explains something powerful. Healthy people respect boundaries. Unhealthy people resist them. Boundaries are a filter. They reveal who deserves your energy and who does not. If someone gets angry at your no, it does not mean you are wrong. It means they expected your yes, without respecting your limits. And that is not love. That is control. Boundaries are not about punishment. They are about clarity. They teach others how to treat you. And they teach you how to treat yourself. The guilt trap. Most of us feel guilty when we first set boundaries. We think, I am letting them down. We think, I am being selfish. But guilt is just a habit. It is the echo of old rules you learned as a child. Here is the key. Do not wait for guilt to disappear before you set boundaries. Set the boundary first. Let guilt scream for a while. But do not give in. Over time, guilt becomes quiet. And in its place, comes peace. Ask yourself this question. Who benefits when you live without boundaries? Not you. Not your health. Not your happiness. Only the people who take advantage. So who should you protect? Them or you? A real-life example. Josephson shares examples of people who changed through boundaries. One woman always hosted family holidays. She cooked for 20 people every year while feeling exhausted. No one offered to help. She felt resentful, but she never said anything. Finally, she used Josephson's advice. She told her family, "I cannot host every holiday anymore. I need a break." At first, some family members were upset. They complained. They said, "But you are so good at it." She held firm. The next year, another sibling hosted. It was not perfect, but it was good enough. And for the first time, she enjoyed the holiday. She felt rested. She felt free. Her guilt faded. Her peace grew. And her family learned to share responsibility. The gift of boundaries. Here is the miracle. Boundaries do not destroy love. They deepen it. Because now, when you give, it comes from joy. Not from fear. Not from pressure. Not from guilt. Boundaries create honesty. They show people who you really are. They invite others to love the real you. Not the fake yes. Not the forced smile. The real you. This is freedom. This is peace. This is love without chains. Final reminder. Boundaries are not rejection. They are respect. They are not cruelty. They are clarity. They are not selfish. They are self-care. Every time you say no, you create space for a better yes. Every time you set a limit, you protect your future. Every time you hold your ground, you grow your worth. Do not fear boundaries. Welcome them. Because when you live with boundaries, you live with freedom. Section 8. Healing the nervous system. Trauma does not only live in the mind. It also lives in the body. Your nervous system carries the memory of every moment you felt unsafe. It remembers when you were ignored. It remembers when you were rejected. It remembers when you felt small. That is why you panic when you stop pleasing others. Your mind says, "It is safe now." But your body says, "Danger is here." The body reacts faster than the brain. And that is why it feels so hard to break free. Think about the times you tried to say no. Your throat got tight. Your chest felt heavy. Your stomach twisted. You felt like you were doing something wrong. That is your nervous system speaking. The nervous system has two main states. One is survival. The other is safety. When you please others out of fear, you are stuck in survival. Your body thinks you are in danger, even if no one is hurting you. It is the same old response, repeating again and again. This is called fawning. Fawning means you try to make others happy, so they will not hurt you. Comes from old pain. Comes from old fear. But the good news is this. You can retrain your body. You can teach your nervous system what safety feels like. Let us start simple. The first tool is breathing. When you feel fear rising, pause. Breathe in slowly through your nose. Hold for a moment. Then release the air through your mouth. Do this 3 times. Your heart slows down. Your body remembers safety. The second tool is grounding. When panic comes, bring yourself into the present. Look around the room. Notice 5 things you can see. Notice 4 things you can touch. Notice 3 things you can hear. Notice 2 things you can smell. Notice 1 thing you can taste. This exercise brings you back to now. It tells your body, "I am safe here." The third tool is movement. Trauma freezes in the body. Your muscles hold on to the fear. That is why your shoulders stay tight. That is why your back aches. Movement releases that tension. It can be walking. It can be stretching. It can be dancing in your room. The point is not perfection. The point is release. The fourth tool is self-touch. Place your hand on your heart. Feel the warmth. Feel the rhythm. Whisper to yourself, "I am safe now." This may sound simple, but it works. The body believes touch. It feels comfort before the mind can think it. The fifth tool is rest. Many people pleasers never rest. They are always on alert. They are always watching. They are always serving. But healing requires stillness. It requires sleep. It requires calm. Give your body time to repair. Another key idea is this. Your nervous system learns from repetition. One deep breath will help for a moment, but not for life. You need practice. Every day. Even when you are not stressed. That is how safety becomes normal. Think of it like training a muscle. At first, it feels weak. It shakes. It resists. But over time, it grows stronger. Your nervous system works the same way. The more you teach it safety, the more it believes you. Josephson says, healing your nervous system is not about perfection. It is about progress. It is about choosing safety again and again. And when you fall back into fear, you do not judge yourself. You gently return to calm. Let us imagine a real-life moment. You are at work. Your boss asks if you can stay late. You already feel tired. You want to say no. But your heart starts racing. Your hands sweat. Your voice shakes. This is your nervous system in survival. Now, instead of rushing to say yes, pause. Breathe slowly. Touch your heart. Remind your body, I am safe even if I say no. Then speak with calm. Say, I cannot today. I need to rest. You survived. Your body learns. Nothing bad happened. That is healing. Another example. Your friend seems upset. You fear they are angry with you. The old pattern tells you to ask, are you mad at me? But this time, stop. Notice the fear. Notice your breath. Calm your body first. Tell yourself, their feelings are not my fault. Then wait. Often, you discover, they were not even upset with you. Your body learns. You are safe without pleasing. Healing the nervous system also means connecting with joy. Pleasers forget joy. They are too busy caring for others. But joy is medicine for the body. Laughing, singing, playing. These are not wastes of time. They are ways to remind your nervous system what life feels like when it is free. Josephson also reminds us, trauma is not your fault. The panic you feel is not weakness. It is your body protecting you, the only way it knew how. But you are not that scared child anymore. You are grown now. You can choose again. You can teach your body a new way. Healing takes patience. It takes kindness toward yourself. There will be days when you fall back. There will be moments when you panic. That is normal. That is part of the path. But each time you return to calm, you get stronger. Each time you choose compassion, you heal a little more. Over time, your nervous system learns safety as the new normal. You stop living in constant fear. You stop pleasing just to survive. You begin to act from truth. You begin to act from love. And this is the heart of freedom. Not a life without stress. Not a life without fear. But a life where fear no longer controls you. A life where your body supports your truth, instead of fighting it. So remember these steps. Breathe. Ground. Move. Touch. Rest. Repeat them daily. Teach your body that peace is possible. Because peace does not come only from the mind. It begins in the body. And when your body is calm, your heart and mind can finally be free.
Section 9. The cost of avoidance. Avoidance feels safe. It feels like a shield. It feels like a way to stay calm. But avoidance carries a price. A heavy price. A price you may not notice at first. When you avoid conflict, you avoid truth. When you avoid truth, you avoid growth. When you avoid growth, you avoid freedom. This is the cost of avoidance. It is silent. It is hidden. It is powerful. And it keeps you trapped. Many people believe avoiding conflict is kindness. They believe silence keeps peace. They believe pleasing others is noble. But silence is not peace. Silence is not healing. Silence is not love. True peace requires truth. True peace requires honesty. True peace requires courage. When you avoid conflict, you lose yourself. You silence your needs. You silence your truth. You silence your power. And over time, that silence becomes pain. It becomes resentment. It becomes distance. Think about this. Have you ever held back words that mattered? Have you swallowed pain to protect someone's comfort? Have you said yes when you wanted to say no? In those moments, you thought you kept harmony. But in truth, you planted seeds of hurt. You planted seeds of bitterness. You planted seeds of exhaustion. Because every avoided conflict grows inside. It grows in your chest. It grows in your mind. It grows in your body. Until one day, it bursts out. It bursts as anger. It bursts as tears. It bursts as withdrawal. Avoidance is not kindness. Avoidance is fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of loss. Fear of disapproval. You think conflict will destroy connection. But the opposite is true. Avoidance destroys connection. Avoidance builds walls. Avoidance creates distance. When you refuse to speak, people do not see you. They see only the mask. They see only the pleasing version. They never see your truth. And without truth, no relationship can grow. No bond can deepen. No love can last. Confrontation is not cruelty. This is the message you must learn. Confrontation is clarity. Confrontation is honesty. Confrontation is love in action. When you tell someone the truth, you respect them. You give them the gift of reality. You show them your heart. Yes, conflict feels scary. It feels unsafe. It feels dangerous. But most danger is imagined. Most fear is memory. Most panic is your nervous system reacting to the past. Conflict is not the enemy. Avoidance is the enemy. Let us reframe conflict. Conflict is connection. Conflict is two people showing up fully. Conflict is two truths meeting in one space. When you speak, you give the other person a chance. A chance to understand you. A chance to respect you. A chance to love you for real. When you avoid, you steal that chance. You steal the chance of honesty. You steal the chance of repair. You steal the chance of intimacy. Think of a friendship. If one friend always avoids conflict, the bond weakens. One friend carries unspoken hurt. One friend carries hidden resentment. Soon the friendship feels fake. Now think of love. If a partner avoids conflict, love grows shallow. They smile, but inside they ache. They agree, but inside they resist. They nod, but inside they scream. That is not love. That is performance. That is survival. True love cannot grow in silence. True love cannot live in fear. True love cannot breathe in avoidance. The cost of avoidance is your freedom. The cost of avoidance is your joy. The cost of avoidance is your voice. Every time you avoid, you teach your body a lesson. You teach it that your truth is dangerous. You teach it that your needs are shameful. You teach it that your voice is unworthy. And with every avoidance you shrink. You shrink your power. You shrink your courage. You shrink your life. But here is the truth. You do not need to shrink. You do not need to silence. You do not need to avoid. You can face conflict with strength. You can face conflict with love. You can face conflict with calm. It begins with small steps. Speak one truth at a time. Say one no when you mean no. Ask one question when you feel confused. Do not wait for courage to appear. Courage grows through action. Courage grows through honesty. Courage grows through practice. And every small act of honesty builds freedom. Every no creates respect. Every truth spoken creates trust. Conflict is not the end of connection. Conflict is the beginning of real connection. Because in conflict, two people show who they are. In conflict, two truths collide and then create space. In conflict, two hearts meet without masks. This is the beauty of confrontation. This is the gift of honesty. This is the path to freedom. So ask yourself today, what truth have you avoided? What words are still trapped inside? What conflict are you running from? Bring it forward. Speak it with calm. Speak it with respect. Speak it with love. You do not need to fight. You do not need to shout. You do not need to attack. You only need to be real. You only need to be clear. You only need to be true. And when you are true, relationships shift. Some people may leave. Some people may resist. Some people may argue. But the people who stay, they will see you. They will respect you. They will value you. They will love you without conditions. That is worth more than false peace. That is worth more than fake harmony. That is worth more than silence. So remember this truth. Avoidance is not safety. Avoidance is prison. Avoidance is pain. Confrontation is not cruelty. Confrontation is courage. Confrontation is freedom. Do not run from conflict. Walk into it with love. Walk into it with clarity. Walk into it with strength. Because every time you face conflict, you grow. Every time you speak truth, you heal. Every time you show up, you break chains. This is how you reclaim your power. This is how you rebuild your life. This is how you create peace that lasts. Section 10. Leaning back into your power. There is a moment in every life when you feel pushed forward. You feel pulled into someone else's emotions. You feel trapped in their storm. You feel as if you must fix it now. That moment is where most people-pleasers lose themselves. They rush forward. They bend. They sacrifice their peace. They react. They panic. Josephson calls the new path leaning back. It is not about running away. It is not about shutting down. It is not about becoming cold or distant. It is about choosing presence instead of panic. When you lean back, you stop reacting. You create space. You breathe. You allow your nervous system to calm. You remember that your worth is not on trial. Leaning back is not weakness. It is strength. It is not avoidance. It is clarity. It is the quiet courage of self-trust. Imagine a friend shouting at you. Their words are sharp. Their tone is heavy. Your old pattern says, "Fix this now, or they will leave." Your body tenses. Your heart races. Your mind screams. Do something. But leaning back means you pause. You breathe. You do not rush to please. You do not rush to apologize for things you did not do. You let the storm pass. You stay grounded. In that pause, you find power. You find freedom. You find choice. This is what Josephson means by leaning back. It does not mean you never engage. It does not mean you never speak. It means you speak from calm, not from fear. It means you wait until you feel steady inside. It means you give your nervous system a chance to reset. Think about how many times you leaned forward. You begged. You explained too much. You apologized again and again. You gave away your peace, just to keep the other person calm. And yet, peace never lasted. The storm always returned. Leaning back breaks that cycle. It gives you time. It gives you distance. It gives you the chance to respond, not react. Now picture yourself in a heated moment. Instead of rushing forward, you take one slow breath. You lean your shoulders back. You place your feet firmly on the ground. You remind yourself, "I am safe." This tiny shift changes everything. The other person may still be upset. They may still demand. They may still push. But you are not trapped. You are not drowning. You are steady in your own body. That is power. That is presence. That is the practice Josephson offers. Leaning back is also about detachment. Not detachment from love, but detachment from panic. It is saying, their feelings are theirs. I can stay with myself. This is not coldness. This is compassion with boundaries. Compulsive pleasers feel every storm as their storm. They believe they must fix every wave. But the truth is different. The storm belongs to the other person. You can care without drowning. You can support without losing yourself. Leaning back lets you see the bigger picture. You notice the dynamics. You notice the old patterns. You notice where fear used to take control. And in noticing, you break free. Josephson explains that leaning back is a practice. You will not master it in one day. You will fail at times. You will rush forward again. But each time you remember to pause, you grow stronger. Step 1 is awareness. Notice when your body surges forward. Notice the heat in your chest. Notice the thought, I must fix this. Catch it. Step 2 is the breath. Breathe in. Slow. Steady. Remind yourself that you are safe. Remind yourself that you do not have to rush. Step 3 is grounding. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel your back in the chair. Place a hand on your chest if needed. Anchor yourself. Step 4 is choice. Ask yourself, what would calm do? Ask yourself, what would love say without fear? Then speak from that place. This is leaning back. This is how you reclaim your power. Leaning back also teaches others. It shows them you will not dance in chaos. It shows them you will not bend in panic. It shows them you are steady. And often, it calms them too. People may resist at first. They may push harder. They may accuse you of not caring. But in time, they see the truth. You are not cold. You are clear. You are no longer controlled by fear. Think of how a tree stands in the wind. It does not run. It does not panic. It does not chase the storm. It roots itself. It bends, but it does not break. That is leaning back. Your relationships will change. Your energy will change. Your life will change. Because you are no longer living in reaction. You are living in choice. This is the path of healing. This is the path of freedom. This is the path Josephson offers. Leaning back is not passive. It is powerful. It is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is not selfish. It is survival with dignity. When you practice leaning back, you send a signal to your mind. You say, I am safe even if others are upset. You say, I can love without losing myself. You say, I am enough. And slowly, your nervous system learns to trust again. It learns that conflict does not mean danger. It learns that anger does not mean abandonment. It learns that you are strong enough to stay steady. That is the gift of leaning back. That is the lesson of this chapter. That is the way back to your power. Section 11. Redefining relationships. When you stop living for approval, your relationships change. This can feel scary at first, but it is also where freedom begins. Most people think love is about pleasing. They believe if they keep others happy, they will be safe. They think if they sacrifice themselves, they will be loved. But this is not true love. It is a form of survival. Real love is different. Real love is built on honesty. Real love is built on respect. Real love allows space for truth. When you stop pleasing, you begin to test this truth. Some people will resist. Some people will get angry. They may say, you have changed. They may accuse you of being selfish. But what they are really saying is, you are no longer easy to control. This is hard to hear. But it is also the moment of growth. Because you are no longer trading your worth for someone else's comfort. Conditional love versus authentic connection. Conditional love says, I love you if you do what I want. Authentic connection says, I love you because of who you are. One is a prison. The other is freedom. When you live in conditional love, you become exhausted. You spend all your energy reading moods. You wonder, did I upset them? You wonder, are they angry with me? Your heart becomes heavy. But when you shift to authentic connection, everything feels lighter. You no longer need to manage every smile. You no longer need to carry every silence. You allow people to own their feelings. And you own yours. This is the path of peace. How relationships change. When you stop pleasing, relationships reorganize themselves. Some people will draw closer. They will respect your honesty. They will feel safe with your truth. They will admire your courage. Others will pull away. They will miss the old version of you. They will miss the person who bent over backwards. They will miss the one who never said, no. And they may not stay. This is painful, but it is also necessary. Because the ones who leave show you something important. They show you that their love was not real love. It was control disguised as care. The ones who stay show you something else. They show you that authentic connection is possible. They show you that real love survives honesty. And real love grows stronger when you stop pretending. Why letting go is okay. We fear losing people. We think if they leave, we are unlovable. But this is not true. Their leaving does not mean you lack worth. It means they were not able to meet you in truth. Sometimes letting go is the greatest act of love. You love them enough to stop lying. You love yourself enough to stop fawning. You allow both of you to live free. The space that opens invites new people. People who value honesty. People who value kindness, not control. People who want connection, not performance. And this is how your circle changes. It becomes smaller, but also stronger. It becomes lighter, but also deeper. Redefining connection. When you stop pleasing, you learn a new way of connection. Connection is no longer about fear. It is no longer about, do you still like me? It is no longer about, did I make you upset? Instead, connection becomes about truth. It becomes about, this is who I am. It becomes about, this is what I feel. It becomes about, can you meet me here? This shift changes everything. You move from shallow waters to deep rivers. You move from fragile ties to solid ground. You move from chasing love to receiving it. And in this new space, you breathe easier. Your chest feels lighter. Your heart beats steady. You realize love is not earned. Love is allowed. The power of saying no. In authentic connection, no does not destroy love. In conditional love, no feels like betrayal. But in real love, no is respected. When you say no with honesty, you create trust. The other person knows your yes is real. They know you are not pretending. They know you are not performing. They know your presence is true. This is how relationships deepen. Through honesty, not performance. Through truth, not fear. The new you in relationships. As you stop pleasing, you meet yourself again. You realize you are not here to be liked by everyone. You are here to live in truth. You are here to love with freedom. You are here to connect with courage. This realization changes your posture. You stop leaning forward in desperation. You stop bending under pressure. You stop chasing. Instead, you lean back. You stand tall. You breathe deeply. People feel this shift. Some admire it. Some resist it. But all must respond to it. Because when you change your relationship with yourself, every relationship around you transforms. Who stays and who leaves? Not everyone will walk with you forever. Some were only meant to walk a short distance. Some were only meant to teach you a lesson. And that is okay. The ones who stay are the ones who truly see you. They do not need you to be perfect. They do not need you to be silent. They do not need you to hide. They accept you, even when you say no. They support you, even when you disagree. They love you, even when you are not easy. These are your people. They may be few, but they are real. And real is always greater than many. Closing truth. Redefining relationships is not about losing love. It is about finding it. It is about letting go of control. It is about choosing truth over fear. It is about living with dignity, not desperation. When you stop pleasing, love becomes clear. Some leave, and that is their choice. Some stay, and that is your blessing. In the end, you realize something powerful. You never lost love. You only lost conditions. And what remained was real. Section 12. Living for yourself. The journey of breaking free from people-pleasing ends here. This is the promise of the book. This is the invitation to a new life. Living for yourself does not mean you are selfish. It does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean you close your heart. It means something deeper. It means you finally stop borrowing worth from others. It means you stop chasing smiles, nods, and approval. It means you begin to rest inside your own skin. For years, you believed love was something to earn. You thought worth came from being useful. You thought safety came from pleasing. But all of that was a lie. A painful, convincing lie. Now, the truth stands clear. You are enough, even when you do nothing. You are worthy, even when no one claps. You are lovable, even when you say no. This shift is not small. It changes everything. It is like learning to walk on new ground. At first, it feels shaky. At first, your mind doubts it. But with each step, your legs grow stronger. Living for yourself means asking new questions. Not, what do they want me to do? But, what do I truly want? Not, will they be upset if I say no? But, what feels right for my soul? This is freedom. This is power. This is the life you were born for. When you stop people-pleasing, some people will not understand. They will call you selfish. They will say you changed. They will try to pull you back into old roles. But you will stand firm. Because you know the truth now. Love built on fear is not love. Love built on control is not love. Real love welcomes your no. Real love celebrates your truth. And yes, some people will leave. They were only there for the version of you who bent and broke. They were only there for the mask. Let them go. Their leaving is not your loss. It is your liberation. At the same time, new people will arrive. People who love your real laugh. People who honor your silence. People who stay, even when you disappoint them. That is real connection. That is authentic love. Living for yourself also changes how you treat yourself. You stop using shame as fuel. You stop saying, I'll be worthy if I try harder. You stop punishing yourself for resting. Instead, you learn to listen to your body. You learn to speak kindly to your heart. You learn to say, I am already enough. Not someday. Not after more effort. Now, this is radical. Because the world will still shout at you. Advertisements will scream, you are not enough until you buy this. Workplaces will demand endless performance. Old voices in your head will whisper, try harder or you'll lose love. But now you answer differently. You smile gently and say, no, I am enough already. That simple statement changes the air around you. It shifts your energy. It settles your nervous system. It calms your soul. Imagine waking up tomorrow with that truth. Imagine opening your eyes, breathing deeply and saying, I am enough. No rush. No panic. No pressure. Just peace. This is the joy of living for yourself. It is not loud. It is not about proving anything. It is quiet, steady, and strong. It is sitting at home on a rainy day, feeling content. It is saying no to something and not shaking with fear. It is loving yourself the way you once begged others to love you. Josephson's final promise is this. When you stop chasing approval, you stop being a prisoner. When you stop begging for love, you find real love. When you stop living for others, you finally start living. The words are simple, but the practice is daily. Each morning you choose yourself. Each evening you remind yourself. Step by step, you live into the truth. And one day you will look back and smile. The fear will seem far away. The old habits will feel like another lifetime. Because now you live free. Not for their applause. Not for their comfort. Not for their approval. But for your own soul. This is the joy of saying, I am enough. This is the joy of living for yourself. And it is the joy that no one can take away. Outro. You have walked through the hidden cost of approval. You have learned how to step out of pleasing and back into your own power. Remember this truth. You do not need everyone to love you. You only need to love yourself. If this message touched you, please subscribe, share this with someone who needs it, and keep learning with us.